Hello everybody, how are you doing? Please let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me, if everything is okay, if the background music is too loud or not. Please just let me know. Okay, so it's I wanted to say it's Saturday morning where I'm from, but it's actually already noon. I woke up fairly late, and well, before doing different other stuff, I just wanted to code a little bit on my URL shortener. So this is why I was thinking I should also go live with it. Probably it won't be as long as the previous streams, but yeah, let's see where we can get going. Let me just set everything up before we can go. Let's just say hello, both on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm live on both of them, and yeah, then I think we can get started, I guess. Okay, so where did we leave the last time? So we created a component that we are able to actually use and create basically a URL shortener. For now, let me just run the application first. Okay, it's on the other screen. Let me bring it back here. So that's our URL shortener. Let's try to shorten something. Let's go to my blog. It's been a long time since I last wrote something here, but I guess I should start writing back also my blog. So let's try to shorten this URL. So let's put it here and then shorten. So I got this shortened URL, and now if I take this URL and I don't know, go open another tab and then navigate to it, I am redirected to this. So this is kind of cool. How this is working right now is that this is my URL shortener component. We write everything in Blazor. It's a server-side Blazor. So we have here this form, and when we have a valid submit, then we call this shorten URL method, which is actually in the code behind file, still in the same Razor in the same Razor component. And here in this shorten URL, we first get the value. We first create a URI from it. Then we use the shortening service and we short this URL. Just quickly, let me show you how this works. So the way I shorten URL is, first of all, I have a model for it, which is called short URL, and on that model I have some properties, of course, like the original URL, the date when it was created, so when this short URL was created or when the URL was shortened. Then the token itself, which is actually the string. It's an 8 characters long string that we attach after the host. And in the value of the short URL, it's basically the entire URI. So with host and then the token that we just created. Now for the creation of the token, we just use the power of link, and it's actually the way that we create the token here. In a very, very short summary how this works, we generate random numbers starting from 48 and going for 75 numbers, so it's till 122 or 123. And the reason why we do this, because each character encoded has a certain number behind, and we make sure with this where that we generate numbers that correspond only to letters and numbers, nothing else. and then we order them randomly. Now we create a list for them, and for each of those numbers, basically we create a character. So this will result in a 75 characters long random string that we put here, and then the only thing that we still do is we get a substring from that, starting at a random position and going for 8 characters. So that's basically how this works. So let's go back to this component. Now the only thing that we still do here is, for now we have a very stupid service which is called dummydb, and here in the service is just a list of short URLs, so we add this to this list. And this service, if we look in startup, is added like a singleton. So this means that as long as the application runs, as long as the server lives, if I add something here, then I'm able to retrieve it later. And probably today we're gonna replace this with an actual database behind. Now, when a request comes in for the shortened URL, what we do is, for that we have a custom middleware which is short URL redirect. And in this custom middleware, what we do is that for each request that comes in, what we do is, of course, we get the user agent. We parse that for getting some statistics about the requests that come in. But then what we do is, if the request path is 9 characters long, which would be the slash plus the length of the token that we create. So in that case, what we do is, we simply get the token from there. We use the substring because we want to get it without the slash that comes with the path. And then we look in that list, for instance, but this is the place where we would probably look in a database. But we look there and we try to actually find out if we have a URL, if we find actually a short URL with that specific token. So if the short URL not equals null, so this means that if we find it, then we simply do a redirect. Else, so if the short URL is not found here in this, let's call it database, but it's actually a list, then what we do is that we redirect to the host, so to the home page. So that's actually what happens when we try to shorten a URL. Let me just check if everything is okay. Guys, can you hear me? Is everything okay from this perspective? Can you hear me clear enough? Is the background music too loud, or please just let me know your feedback. That would be very important for me. Thank you for joining me in this early, or not that early, but morning session, live coding session. Okay, so what I would like to do today is actually try to bring a database and just really shorten the URL so that I don't have to use that dummy database service anymore. And I want to use probably a database in Azure. And by the way, if you didn't watch the other streams, this service will actually be hosted in Microsoft Azure. We actually already have something there. So, because if you go to ring.me, there's a URL shortening service that I developed, I guess, 3 years ago, which basically is behind an API, an ASP.NET Core API, with an Angular front end. It's a very simple and basic component in Angular. So it's exactly the same. If we want to shorten a URL here, I don't know, not this one. Let's try to shorten this one. So if you want to shorten this one, it works with a certain delay, but we got a URL, and if we now request this, then we should be redirected. So what we want to do is to replace this very basic and dumb service that we have here with something that looks a little bit better than this, and probably that will have also a few more features. So that's the main goal. And if today I'll be able to deploy to Azure or deploy this new version to Azure, that will already be fun enough. But for now, let's go back. Yeah, by the way, here's Azure. Let's where resource groups. Let's create ourselves a database, but I want to add a new resource group for this, and I'll call this resource group name RinkMe. And well, I'm living in Europe and I usually host everything in Europe somewhere. Let's do West Europe, that should do it. I don't want to add any tags right now, so review and create and create. So what we will need right now is just a database. Where is this? So let's add a new service. Okay. But why don't I find this? Azure SQL, that should be it. Create and manage SQL Server resources from a single view. I guess that should be the right one. Okay, so here I have to choose between the normal database, managed instance or virtual machine, and I just want to have the database. And here I can also choose if I want to put or to use an Is everything okay with the sound? Can you still hear me? Please let me know in the chat if you can still hear me. Because I had a small interruption here with my audio, and I'm not sure if everything is okay again. However, I'll choose the single database for now. I don't want to use an elastic pool because I just want to have one database. And of course, since this is everything only, let's say, dummy project, side project like that, so it's not that I'm earning money with it, I just make it as resourceful as possible. So database name, let's call that RinkMe, and the SQL server, I'll have to create a new SQL server. Something like that. Your server name can contain only lowercase. Okay. RinkMe SQL01. That should do it. Let's type in a password for the admin. And it should be also in Europe somewhere. Okay. Where to? Europe, North Europe. I'm looking for West Europe. That should do it. Okay, server admin login. Okay. Sorry, I missed that. Let's give an admin. So that would be my admin name. So this is the server that we created. I don't want to use an elastic pool. Then I have to choose a plan, I guess. Let me see. Okay. So here there's this maxi size of 32 gigs, which should be fine, I guess. This estimated cost per month is actually not what. That's way too high. So let me see if I can get this maybe standard. And the standard works based on DTUs, data transfer units. Database disk size, this is 250 gigs. And this is just 12.65 euros. And for DTUs, I guess I have 10 DTUs. Yeah, 10 DTUs is, I guess, enough for what we need right now. Maybe we can get 20 DTUs to make sure that, well, we have all the resources that we need when we need them. And that's 25 euros. Let's leave it on 10 DTUs because we won't have so many requests, I guess. And if we will have, then we can come back here and reconfigure this. Of course, since we are on this standard and we are not using an elastic pool on Azure, we cannot configure auto scaling at all. But 12 euros for this, I guess that would be okay, which would be per month. So yeah, let's apply that. Networking. Okay, connectivity method. Configuring connectivity to your server via public endpoint or private point. Choosing no access creates the defaults, and you can configure connection method after server creation. Okay, let's do it that way. Okay, the collation and things like that. Data source. Yeah, I want to have a blank database, that's for sure. And I guess for the collation, I will leave this this default that we have here. Azure Defender, not now. I just want to keep it as cheap as possible, and yeah, that should do it. So let's create it. And we have to wait a little until this gets created, because there are some things that we want to do after this SQL is created. So deployment still in progress. It shouldn't take that long, I guess. It's a very, very simple database, so everything should be fine. Until this gets created, I'm really curious right now, all of you who are watching, from which country you are watching. So please don't be shy and use the chat and just let me know the country from where you are watching me right now. I would be very, very curious. About myself, I'm streaming from Romania. Okay, so we have here this SQL, and right now the database is created. It's in progress. Okay, and there are some things that I still need to configure when the SQL database is created, because I have to make sure that I'm able to connect to the database even when I'm working locally. So from my current machine. So let's go to the resource. And here we are as a resource on the SQL server, where of course we can create or we can configure this SQL database with a lot of other security stuff and important things like that. But what I really want to do is, let's go back to the resource groups, to link me, and I want to go to the server itself. And for the server, there should be here somewhere the configure firewall rules. Where is it? Or is that on the database? I guess I'm missing that. Let's go on the database in this case. Yes, set server firewall. What I want to do here in this set server firewall is add a client IP. Because I want to add the external IP of my current client so that I'm able to connect to the database when I'm running the application locally. So when the application doesn't run actually in an Azure web app. So connection from IP specified below provides access to the database. Okay, and this is exactly what I want to do. And here I have this button, add client IP, which automatically adds this client IP right now to the database. So after I save this, I will be able to connect to this database from my local computer. Now, of course, this is a very easy setting, and in production environments it would be configured a little bit different, maybe through VNets, and you have to connect through a VPN on things similar like that. But for now, I guess that that will do it. Everything should be fine here, so let's close this. And then one other thing that we need to do is connect with, and I want to connect with Visual Studio, but I don't want to open in Visual Studio right now. I would have expected that they would give me the connection string to it. I don't want to open Visual Studio. Let's see what we have here. Power apps, configure, verification, connection strings. So yeah, that should be it. And here we have ADO.NET. Yeah, I'll put this in a notepad file, but I'm going to use this on a different screen because here I will have to use my username and the password, and I really don't want this to be shown on the stream. So let's that should be it. Yeah, that should be. So right now we have a running database, and theoretically we can connect to it from my local machine right now, probably or surely using Visual Studio. And the way that's gonna work, we can go back to Visual Studio, and in app settings.json, let me add here a property. It will be named connection strings, and yeah, let's create an object for that, because we might want to add different connection strings later. So the first one, let's call it the default, which is the first one, and here we'll just add that connection string that we copied. Just 1 second to make sure I can copy it. That should do it, I guess. There's only one thing that I have to make sure is no, there's no backslashes here, so yeah, that should do it. So let's close this app settings.json file, and we'll go later and see how we can add this connection string basically to our app. But yeah, right now that we have the database, we can go just a little bit further and think about what we want to store in the database. And I want to take a look at the models that I have right now. Because here I have, where is it, the domain. So I have here first of all this short URL, and yeah, this is the short URL that we of course want to store in the database. Then we have this user agent, which is basically, or contains basically some information, statistics about all the requests that come in and that are, I don't know, tied, or that come in for a certain short URL. So this means that we need to have a relationship between the user agent and the short URL, because one short URL could have different user agents. For each request that would come for that short URL, we would have to register or store in the database basically a new user agent. And this would also mean that we can, if we want to grab statistics about, okay, how many requests did came in for a certain short URL, then we can simply count the user agents. And yeah, that would do it for now. A very, very, very simple analytics implementation. So we have to establish this relationship, which means that a short URL could have several user agents. So in that case, it's a one-to-many relationship. So this means that here we'll have public I collection of short URL get set. Of course, we have to give a name to it. And how should we call this? Maybe requests? Yeah, I guess requests would be a good idea. And then in the user agent, so if we want to configure one-to-many, we basically can do this by convention. But even if we do this by convention, we have different ways. And I published yesterday a video on my YouTube channel, so if you want, you can go to that video and watch it about creating these one-to-many relationships. But the idea is that what I want to do is that between this short URL, so the short URL is one and has many user agents, so it's a one-to-many. But what I also want is that when, for instance, I delete a short URL, all the user agents that belong to that short URL should also be deleted. So I have to make sure that the referential action for the delete is set to on delete cascade, because a delete operation on a short URL should cascade on all user agents that belong to that short URL. And if we want to create this, or to make sure that we have this type of referential action, what we need to do here is we have to fully qualify the relationship, which means that in the user agent we have to provide a property for the ID of the short URL, int short URL ID, and we have to provide an inverse navigation property, which is public short URL. And right now, from entity framework core perspective, this relation is fully qualified or fully defined, because we define here on the short URL a navigation property, but it's it's of user agent. It's an collection of user agent, of course. So this is a navigation property. So we navigate here back basically to a list, to a collection of different user agents. And each user agent should contain then this short URL ID, which will be the foreign key. And of course, this is only one inverse navigation property. And right now, when we create a migration, it should by default set the referential action on delete to cascade, which is what I really want. Because if I delete a short URL, there's really no point that all the user agents that were associated to that URL would remain in that database. So yeah, that's why I think that that we should make sure that this would happen. Okay, I think, or I guess that everything is okay with the stream. So you should be able to see it both on Twitch and on YouTube. So right now that we have the model, what I want to do is then create a dull project, and I have a solution folder here because I want to have it as a different, as a totally separate layer. And in this layer, we will have a class library project. It would be called ringme.dull data access layer. Let's delete this class here because we don't need it. So we need some packages, of course, here, because this will be add manage NuGet packages. Now, I'm not sure exactly what packages we need to add here and what packages we need to add in the front-end application, but I guess we'll figure that out. So Microsoft, I'm looking for this entity framework. So first of all, we surely need this Microsoft entity framework core. However, this week .NET 5 came out. So the latest version here is 5, which means that it belongs to .NET 5. Now about .NET 5 there are a lot of things to be said, but as a very, very brief summary of what .NET 5 is, it's actually the .NET that brings together all the different platforms and frameworks and ways to develop in the .NET world. Because until now we have kind of like a .NET framework, for instance, on which you could develop the desktop application, web apps and things like that, but everything was mostly or actually running on Windows. Then you had .NET Core, for instance. Then you had Blazor for as a single page application framework and things like that. But for instance, there were some things that kind of were a little bit overlapping, because what happened is that I guess starting with .NET 2.1 or 2.2, you could develop desktop applications, so WPF applications on .NET Core, so both on .NET Framework and on .NET Core. And of course, there was not 100% feature parity among these different type of frameworks, let's say. So the problem was that the behaviors was not very, very consistent, and as developers, especially if it was probably more difficult for those that were kind of new to .NET. It was actually very, very difficult to understand exactly all these type of different platforms, frameworks, what's running on Windows, what's not running on Windows, and things like that. So Microsoft just wanted to unify all the things under one single umbrella. So starting actually this week, we don't have a separate .NET framework, a separate .NET Core and things like that, but we have only one .NET, which is called .NET 5. So starting now, basically all the entire .NET 5 and all the different models which you can use to build your applications and platform and ways to develop are basically tied in one single thing, which is called the .NET 5. So we don't have a separate .NET framework, we don't have a separate .NET Core, we just have only one .NET, and this is right now .NET 5. So when I created this project 2 weeks ago, or I don't know, .NET 5 was not out already. So I use for all the libraries, I guess 3.1.10. So this is why in this case I won't install the latest, because I really don't want right now to invest time in upgrading all the other packages. So just to get it started very quick, I will choose this 3.1.10 version, so not the 5 version, but I kind of wanted to explain a little bit the concept of .NET 5 to understand why we have here 3.1 and then the next version is 5. So basically we skipped 4 and now basically we have .NET 5 and everything is right now the latest version on 5. Sorry, I said I want to install 3.1. Okay, so let's install that here. Task was cancelled. Okay, what happened here? Installed. It was somehow not installed. Accept. Not sure exactly what happens here. Let's rebuild this project. So theoretically we installed this package, but I'm not exactly sure why. Basically we have a warning here and I'm not sure exactly why. Why do we have that specific warning? Let me open this again. Manage NuGet packages. Installed. Why doesn't it find any packages? Because I installed it. That's strange. And usually it still allows me to install it. So that's actually kind of strange. Here's a package reference. Include Microsoft Entity Framework Core version 3.1.0. Let's remove this reference here right now. Let's rebuild and let's try to install it from scratch. Manage to get packages, Microsoft Entity Framework Core. Let's install this one. Accept. Task was cancelled. That's strange. That's totally strange. To be honest, I'd never got an error like this before. Let's go on the project properties a little bit. I guess my Visual Studio does some crazy stuff, I guess. Okay. You know what? Let me just close Visual Studio and reopen it. This would be the project that we need. So let's simply reopen it. Okay. Yeah, there's an update. I know that there is an update. Let me rebuild, and now it seems to be okay. So I don't have the warnings anymore. And let me see if I go and open the NuGet package manager. I should see it under installed packages, I guess. Let's go to installed. Yeah, we see that we have here Microsoft Entity Framework Core. Yeah, so I guess Visual Studio was just playing crazy for a bit, but now everything seems to be fine. Now I'm not sure exactly if we need to install further packages. Usually Microsoft Entity Framework would use also, I guess the design should be installed. Design time components for Entity Framework Core tools. Yeah, you know what? Let us do this a little bit different. Let's also go to the web, because we also will need Entity Framework Core here, and we'll then find out together exactly where and how should we install different things. So let's go here to these dependencies and manage NuGet packages, and we'll do it the same way. But once again, they say no package found, but at least one package should be here because it's the standard .NET Core. But let's go for Entity Framework. So here I would need to install Entity Framework Core, of course. I accept. Okay. And why do I have errors right now? Because I didn't change anything here. Let's just rebuild this. Okay, we have 3 with success. I guess it's well, it's a matter of Visual Studio once again going crazy. Because these methods exist, these overrides were correct until now, so I suppose everything is still working. Yeah, let's go to these packages. One other that we will need here is SQL. Where is it? SQL Server. It should be this one, but not the 5 version. I hope it doesn't install it. We'll have to uninstall it afterwards. Okay, yeah. Because I want 3.1.0. Let's see what happens now. It's restoring packages. Then we still have these errors that we have earlier, and what we can do here is go in startup.cs and services. What we can do is var cs equals configuration get connection string, and we want to get a connection string for the default, and here then services dot add db context. Of course, sorry. Of course, in order to add a db context, we need to create it first. So let's go to the dull project once again and create here a new class. Bring me data context. Public class. Should inherit from db context. Okay, that should do it. Let's have the constructor. Here it would be db context options, and we simply pass them to the base class. Then what I usually also do as a standard way of doing things is that I do overrides for the onConfiguring method and onModel creating. So it would be protected void protected override. Sorry, void on configuring, and here we need db context options builder. This would be the correct one. Let's call it builder. And for now, I don't want to override any configuration. So what I will do, I will call the onConfiguring on the base. So simply delegate this back. But later I might want to add some different configurations here, and then protected override void on model creating. And here this method, what do we have here? It's model builder, I guess. Builder. And here I'll probably do some things just in a while. And then what db sets do we need here? We need a db set for short URL, db set type short URL, short URLs get sets. Of course, we need to add the necessary package reference and using statements, so add reference to RENCME domain, which should be fine. And then, last but not least, we would need a db set, because I want to be able to also query the user agents to get information about the things that I have in a database. And here it will be, I don't know, we should call it requests. Yeah, let's call it requests, because each user agent actually represents a request. So I guess that would be better. So now I guess the model is fairly clear. So in model creating, there's nothing that I need to configure via this Fluent API. So that wouldn't help a lot. So if we go right now back to this startup, first of all, we need to add a reference to add db context services. Because normally, let's add the using here manually using Microsoft Entity Framework Core. Because add db context should be, or it is not in that one. Okay, so this means that here we need to install another package. So let's go here in the dependency. Okay, manage NuGet packages. Okay, one other thing that we would need here is Entity Framework Core analyzers tools, I guess. Let's also have this and the design. So add db context of RENCME data context. That should be that. And then of course we need to pass in options. Options.use SQL Server. Then we have to pass in the connection string, and that should add our database. Now for the solution, because in order to be able to run migrations, we need to set this this web frontend as the startup project for the solution. Single startup project ring.web. Okay, it added it automatically, which is okay. Then in package manager console, I'm not sure exactly, but I have all my things in DAL. Let's add migration, initial migration. And let's hope for the best. Okay, errors. The anytype browser requires a primary key to be defined. Oh, okay. So I guess, yeah, we didn't put IDs for them. That's public int ID get set. I guess we need this also the thing for the device. Public int ID get set. Okay, and probably also for the OS. Public int ID. The short URL. Not even the short URL has an ID. That's strange. I forgot to add IDs for them. Public int ID get set. This is because usually I have a base class for entity that contains IDs and things like this, so I don't have to care when I write my models about the ID. And user agent should also have an ID, of course. Sorry. Public int ID get set. Yeah, and I guess that right now we should have a better chance. Add migration once again. Okay, to undo this, so the migration was successful. It's still, I don't know, Visual Studio really plays a little crazy. Or no, I guess that something is missing, these migrations. So I guess we need to also install. We need to install, I guess, a new package, but I'm not sure exactly which one. But I guess that this design, I guess it should design. Then the design is actually not needed in the other one. So. Relational, okay. Is that really the case to install this package? That would be. Let me just check something here. Let's also install the tools. Okay, let's install this package. If they say that I need it, let's install it, but the 3.1 version. Okay. Okay. Right now it seems to work. So let's try to add. But it's still, I'm not sure why we have this error. Did this come from Blazor? But we didn't change nothing actually there. So we have the initial migration. Let's take a look at the migration first. So it would create a table called browser, which is the primary key. It would create a table device that would have a primary key. Create a table OS that would have this primary key, and then short URLs. It would also have a primary key, and then requests that should have the primary key and foreign key for browser, OS, and the short URL. Okay. And then the indexes that get created, and let's see a little bit referential actions. You see that I said that the referential action in the relationship between short URL that is one and that has many user agents or requests should be only the cascade. And we see that as we fully define the relationship in code, following conventions of Entity Framework Core just used it correctly. So that's exactly what we want here. The only thing is, okay, what we have here in this with referential action restrict, I have a guess to give a thought what would happen when, but I guess that this should be also cascade, because when I delete a request, I want to delete also the browser and the OS and the device that is associated to it. So let's just also switch this to cascade. Let's switch this to cascade and also this. Okay, so that would be it, I guess. So now update database. Okay, build failed. Why did the build? Okay, so we need this SQL Server package also here. So let's install it. Accept. Okay, so this should be gone now. So once again, update database. Build started, build succeeded, and done. If I go to SQL Server Object Explorer, I guess I should be able to add a new connection here. That would connect me to, let's add the connection to the database that I have created in Azure, so that I can see it also in Visual Studio to see the columns that we have there, because that should be possible. It right now it tries to log in to my subscription on Azure and get the required information, and I should be able to see, yeah, indeed, we see here this should be the RingMe, the password for it. I have to provide it. I remember password and connect, and this should connect me to the database in Azure, which it did. So if I go to databases right now, I have the RingMe, and then in tables I should have my table structure for this. Of course, since it gets the information remotely from the cloud, it can take a little bit until things refresh here. I'm using probably, of course, a lot of bandwidth with the streaming and things like that, so probably the connection is right now not the fastest ever possible. But we see that we have indeed these tables. Here we have this browser. Yeah, it's when expanding those, it's not optimal, but I guess it should be fine. I guess it should be fine. I just wanted to take a look at the keys, but it takes time until it gets data actually from Azure. But yeah, the good thing is that the tables were created, and that's what I would have expected: a table for short URLs, a table for requests. The requests, each request should contain probably a foreign key to the short URL that it belongs to, and it should contain foreign keys to the OS, to the device, and to the browser. So that's probably how this should be right now. Yeah, that's kind of it. So now the next thing that we need to do, that we have a database, is simply try to use this database, and yeah, when we shorten the URL, to simply write it in the database. But I'm really very I don't understand why I still get these errors here, and that's because the project is built correctly. It's only Visual Studio that kind of like is a little bit messed up, and I'm not sure exactly why. Let me just try to close all the windows that we have here. There are a lot of JS files that we used the last time out. The idea is that the application should still work. Short URL. Let me close everything and then try to rebuild the entire solution. And I would really expect those errors to go away. No, they still did. And that's strange. That's totally strange. But yeah, that's not something that we can do about. Let's just check that it still works. And after that, I guess I'll go for a very short break. Then we'll see how we'll work further to implement the database. Let's shorten this URL. Yeah. Yep, that works. So the application still works. It's Visual Studio is a little bit crazy right now because it still gives me errors on the Blazor component, but we know that actually they work correctly, so there's no problem with the components right now. So yeah, but I guess we'll finish with the DAL layer right now. The only thing that we have to think about is if we want to also implement repositories or not for this one. Because I'm not sure that we need repositories here. The scenarios are way too easy. But let me have just a short break, and after the break we'll continue. And well, probably during this break I will also better think about if we want to use a repository or not. So I'll be away for 10 minutes. I would say not more than that. and then we'll continue to work on this URL shortener, and hopefully we'll be able to also deploy it to Azure today, so we can start using it with or having this new version. Yeah, so please stay tuned. We'll continue just in a few minutes. Okay guys, I'm back. I hope you're still there. Let's see. Okay, some of you are still here. Thank you very much for watching. As said during this break, I thought about if we need to use a repository, and I don't think it makes any sense right now to use a repository. The main reason why I say that is because, well, we just want to do basic writes and reads. So no fancy stuff, it's simple CRUD. And in that case, I think that, adding a repository right now would be kind of like, it wouldn't bring us any benefit. It would just add complexity right now. So we'll kind of leave it like that. So in that case, what we need to think about right now is, I kind of hate these errors, but well, yeah, that's it. Let's make this smaller. So what we need to do right now is, first of all, if we go here in this shorturl.razor, we would need to, the errors went away now. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Funny Visual Studio, thank you very much. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to inject the data context in the component, because we would need to write something there. So it's public, and it is set ring me data context. And of course we have to give it also a name, have to add a reference to the DAL, and it would be a data context. And of course we need to also close here the angle brackets and the curly brace, and that should be do it. Now we don't need a dummy DB service anymore here. Of course now we have an error, and it's normal that we have it. So what we want to do right now instead is here data context dot, no, there should be an entity, or isn't there an entity? Short URLs, because what we want to do is we want to add a short URL and short URL, and this should write the short URL to the database. However, right now this is actually writing to the database. This is adding the model to the context, but it doesn't save it to the database. We have to call save changes for that. But in order to call save changes for that, we need to make that an async method. So it would be async void. It's not the best practice, but I won't bother too much right now with it. Await data context dot save changes async. So this should write to the database, and that should do it. So now we need in the middleware to read from the database. So let's go here to the short middleware, and yeah, what we need to do here is, actually we don't need a dummy DB anymore. We need to ring me data context. So that's what we need to inject instead. Now, when working with the DB context in Blazor applications, things are a little bit more tricky. But I guess at least for now we shouldn't hit problems, because the problems with the DB context is that you cannot have several instances of the DB context running at the same time and writing or reading or having a connection to the database at the same time. And purely theoretically, this could be the case. For instance, if we have the application opened with the component that already has the DB context in it, because it's injected, and then a request comes in for a redirect, then we would create here a new instance, I guess. So maybe we will have some problems here, but we'll see. So right now what we have to do here is context. I think it's actually, yeah, that's the only thing that we have to change, because it searches for the short URL with the specified token, and well, it does things. So yeah, right now I'm a little bit curious if things will work. So let's see. Let's run the application right now. So yeah, at least we didn't get an error when we loaded that. Let's go. Let's open another article of mine. Common use of delegating handlers. It's a good article, I guess. Let's shorten it. Okay, something went wrong, I guess. Here the call stack is, I don't know, it's strange. So something went totally wrong here. Let's try to put some breakpoints here. Let's see what happens here. Then in the middleware, I want to see what happens here. So yeah, we hit here. Okay. Let's see, we have a short URL. Yeah, that's correct. Have the token for that. And then we add it to the DB context. Then we saved it. Then we should return values short URL value to string. Okay, but okay. So now it worked. Strange. So we hit this one in this case. Request path to strings of string. So let's see. Yeah, we get the correct token. Then we should look up the token in the database. Okay. So we got that information. So short URL is not null. So we need to do a redirect. And we did a redirect. Okay. That's nice. Let's try again. Let's shorten the Twitch URL. But why don't I? That's kind of strange. That's kind of strange. So if you have any idea what's happening here, just let me know. Let me take out the breakpoints. Now it worked. Okay. Let's refresh the home page. Let's try something else. GitHub. So my repositories, and this ring me repository, this is a public repository. Here is where I have all the code basically, and you see that when I do commit to this, it's simply I commit with the date where I streamed actually what I want to commit there. So if you want, you can just go to this repository and clone it and look at it. Okay, so let's try to ring it. It's strange because when I click the first time, nothing happens actually. When I click the second time, let's try to look into the SQL Server Object Explorer, tables, view data. Now this will take a little bit, I guess, until it will display. But I'm curious if URLs were shortened. So let's see here. So those changes were saved only once, not twice. I really can't explain what happens, because the problem is when we hit the shorten the first time, it basically doesn't happen anything. Because in that case we should have all those. But the strange thing is that we got here the original URLs. Okay, there's some funny stuff happening here. And maybe I don't know. I don't. Maybe I know what happens. State has changed. Let's notify Blazor that state has changed and that we probably will have a new value here. Let's see if this works right now. Let's go once again to another repository that we want to shorten. This time, let's. This is another repository that I used when I streamed something. So let's try to shorten it. But still, okay. It took a little bit, but right now I have something here. And I guess that state has changed. Should have solved this problem. Okay. I guess I have some errors here, but... strange enough. Okay. So now theoretically it seems to work a little bit. Let's go back to the short URLs here data. There should be a refresh. I wouldn't expect to have more local hosts URLs here right now. Yeah, I don't have any other local host URL. Let's even delete them. Okay. If I forget some values, this would be if I copy this. If I run the application, let's run it again. This time I just want to navigate to a short URL. And I was redirected correctly. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, it seems that things seem to work right now. Things seem to work right now. Now, there is one other thing that I would like to do here is... to also get some data about the requests that come for a certain URL. Just let me check if everything is okay. Yeah, it should be fine. So you should still be able to hear me and see me, I guess. So what I want to do, let's close this. Let's close this. I want to go to the middleware, because what I want to do here is for each request that comes in, I have here a parsed user agent. And what I would want to do here is I have to extend my if, so I will need curly braces. So I'll move that here. But before I redirect, we'll make this this should still work, I guess. Let me bring this to the different line. So what I want to do here is I have here the parsed user agent for this request. So when I go here, I want to also do the following. It would be context dot short URLs dot So I have the short URL And on the short URL, I should have requests, and I want to add here the parsed user agent, and then wait context save changes async, and then I want to do the redirect. This should save all requests actually to the database. They say I have an error. Okay, since an asking method that returns task, a return keyword must not be followed by an object expression. Did you think to return task of T? Okay. What's the problem with this one? Call is not awaited. Execution of all current method contains. I guess, yeah, right now that should be fine. Okay, so let's try this out. First of all, let me go to, once again, SQL Server Object Explorer, and this time I want to see the requests, and here view data. Theoretically this should be empty right now because we didn't write something here, so that should be totally empty. And it is empty. So let's run the application. Okay, and I don't know. Nah, I don't have. So we have to. I don't know. What should I shorten right now? Give me an idea of a website, of a URL that I need to shorten. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to the channel that I have. Let's go to the videos, and yeah, let's shorten the URL to this video. It takes, however, very long until it's shortened. That's not that funny. We'll see how we can optimize that just later. Okay. Exception thrown. Requests get returned null. Okay. Why is it null? I don't get it. I really don't get it why it is null, but yeah, let's make sure that I paste my URLs there, that I don't have to shorten it again. So yeah, let's close it. Although I shouldn't have closed it. I should simply rerun it and see exactly what we have null, or what is null. Okay, so this is the URL shortener. So we hit the breakpoint, which is okay. So the short URL requests is null. Okay. Because I think what we need to do here is of course we will need to have entity framework core, so we will need to include the short URL should include requests, and now it shouldn't be null anymore. Okay. Here request is not null anymore. So we were redirected, which is fine. Yeah, that works right now. So that's kind of cool. Now, okay, let's close it once again, and let's go here to the requests and do a refresh. Because we should be able to see different type of information here. Okay, there's been only 2 requests, and of course what we get here is only a bunch of numbers because we reference only the foreign keys. But if we, I don't know, go to, I don't know, I want to see what operating system that came from. So let's view data for the OS. Okay, so I have 2 requests that come from Windows 10 and that belong to a certain request. Okay, then the same device, I want to view data for the device. So we see that the requests were not a bot, that it's correct. Then we don't have information about the brand of the device and family and model. This we saw already that happens when requests come from my machine. And if we go to the browser, let's go to view data here. Of course, for now we can just view this data here in the Data Explorer, but probably we'll build some dashboard that would be accessible only for an admin, where I would get some information about what happens here. Okay, so yeah, we have Chrome version 86, so that should do it. One thing that we can do right now is, because I want to prepare this application right now to deploy to Azure, so that's actually when we need to do some more stuff. because here we have this index.razor, and here in this index.razor you see that we have these different counters that links clicked per day. I'm not sure exactly how many links were clicked per day, so this is not a stat that we calculate yet, but we will. But for now, one thing that we can actually do here is simply how many links were shortened in total. So this is something that we can calculate right now. How we should calculate this? Well, that's kind of we need, of course, the database for it. So let's add for this index a code behind file. So add where is it? Sorry, on the folder. We have to add new class, and we'll call this index.razor.cs. And the only thing that we need to do is make that partial, so that would be okay right now. What we will need here is to inject. Of course, we need to add some using statement for that. What do we want to inject? Public, it would be bring me data service, get set. Of course, we need to add also using for this guy here. Okay, no, I guess I have a typo here. Okay, what am I? Because I should be able let's try to add this manually using ringme.dal. Or is it like that? I'm not sure exactly right now. Let's go to the DAL. It's ring me data context. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ring me data context, not service. Yeah, and now that should be it. Now the only thing that we want to do is that when this gets configured, so let's go just a little bit here on the short URL. We have overwritten this protected override task on initialized async. And what we can do here is override this again. And let's do this. Protected override async task on initialized async. Okay. What we would need here is also a property, public int, though it could be also private because we won't use it anywhere, but it's a property. Let's make it public. Public, it would be of type int, shortened URLs, and here shortened URLs equals wait data, but let's call it data context, not service. It's data context because we called it data context also previously. then short URLs, and here we have here count, I guess. In a sequence, yeah, of course, but the problem here is int does not contain definition for get a waiter. Yeah. Because we have to get the data from we have to get those somehow. They just want to get all. Range aggregate as an accumulator function over a sequence, all any is async enumerable as parallel attach range concat count get type. Okay, just to not spend more time on this, what I will do is here simply var short URLs equals await data what method should we actually use here? The find. Here we have to find after a certain URLs to list async. Okay. Don't I have here a to list async? So this should be okay. But then I guess we can do this the following way. Short URLs to list async, that would list all of them, and then we can have count. Or no, because that wouldn't wait until everything is done. That's something strange about Entity Framework Core, because if I'm here on the short URLs, now I have this count async. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, so I do await this. Shortened okay, so this is right now because yeah, we count asynchronously, so we don't actually need to get the entire list, we just want to count it, and it would execute on the server a script that would simply count the URLs that we have saved there until we basically return this. Okay, then we have this shortened URLs, which is a property which should have appropriate value. So in here, counter shortened links in total, and here I can say that the count equals shortened URLs. And right now, if I run the application, I would expect to have a real number there. Of course, there, yeah, I have 5. That's cool. So I see that it works. Now a problem that we have, I guess we'll try to, let's shorten this one. Let's shorten this guy. So let's shorten it. The problem is it won't automatically display or update what we actually have here. So we got this shortened. And if we refresh the page now, it should display 6. But this is actually something, I'm not sure if, here we have to implement actually a component communication. And there are some techniques here that we could use. It's actually similar to what we have also in React and what we have in Angular. And this would mean to use the event callbacks. And how event callbacks should work is that we would need on the index we have another property public. It would be of type event callback of int shortened trees short URL count. I try to remember because I don't recall it exactly how the idea with event callback works, but the idea is that I think so. The idea is that we should provide this event callback. Let's look into documentation right now. Laser event callback, event handling. Let's look into an example here. Okay, so where we have a parent, but okay, this updates the heading, so that's the following calls check changed. Okay, event argument types. Okay, keyboard is drag, but lambda expressions. Okay. It's not what event callback, so this is what we need. So we have a button on click callback. Okay, so we have a parameter which is type event callback of mouse event args. Okay, so the child component in the app sample demonstrates how button on click handler is set up to receive an event callback delegate from the sample's parent component. But what is the parent? So this is the parent component. Then in the parent component we have this show message. Then in the child component, so so the callback so it's not exactly what I would have expected. Let me go to a Blazor project that I developed earlier. Just 1 second. Start would be this one. Because there I implemented a lot of callbacks in that project, so let me just open it. Let me bring this to the screen. So this is another project that I have with Blazor, and here we have a lot of core. No, it's sorry. So here we have a bunch of, let's go on timeline components. Okay. So this is the timeline component. In the timeline component, let's look into the code behind to see exactly what we have here. So yeah, we don't have any event callbacks here. The event callbacks we have actually in the chat, I guess. Active child on send friend request. Send friend request, this is the method. But I want to see it's a little bit different in documentation. On click callback. Yeah, it's called like that. Yeah, okay. So that's probably with on friend request accepted. So let's go in the child component, pending friend request component, and here in this component here I have these parameters which are event callbacks. Okay, on friend request accepted. Okay, invoke async and response. Okay, so that's the idea. So we go in the, let's go back here. So the idea is that we don't need any callback here, but what we want to do here is create actually a new method, private, it should actually be void increase short URL count, and this short URL count, what would happen is that I don't really get, I could get here the information from the callback, but I actually don't need it, because what I can do here is shortened URLs plus equals 1. Now what I could do here is go in the child component, which in this case is this URL shortener, and in this URL shortener I would add a new property which is also a parameter, and it's of type event callback. Let's make it event callback of int on shortened URL. Okay, and what I want to do is that when I shorten URL, what I can actually do here right afterwards is also await on shortened URL dot invoke async. theoretically here in this invoke async, I would have to provide the int. I can provide 1 here, for instance, because I need to increase this by 1. And if I'm correct, when I invoke the event callback, this was also triggering a rearrangement of the UI, so it would call the state has changed in behind. So in this case, we have this here. Now the only thing that we still have to do increase short URL count. So here, besides the count, we have here also the on. How did we call the property? The parameter. Event callback on shortened URL. But why don't I see it? On shortened URL equals. Why doesn't it recognize it as a parameter? So, on shortened URL. That's strange. Because it should recognize it as a parameter here. Oh, I don't know. Let me rebuild this solution. Maybe that would help. Because it's just like count. It's just a parameter. But I don't have any other parameter here. Type submit, okay. Because this count, it's on the counter, okay. Yeah, because it's not the counter that I'm interested in right now. Sorry, it's URL shortener. I don't know, it's kind of like I'm totally sleepy. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong component because I'm looking at the URL shortener, and on shortened URL, here I would have to provide the name of the method that I have here, which is increased the count. That's exactly what I'm gonna do here. So theoretically right now this means that when I shorten a URL, this event callback should be triggered. So when I shorten a URL, this event callback should be triggered. So we really trigger it here, and the parent component, this would mean that in the index, then this method will be invoked, and this would simply increase the counter, and theoretically this should also trigger a state has changed. So theoretically this is why I commented this out. So let me go for another URL. In the meantime, equality. Let's check this article about equality in C#. So we have 6 shortened URLs. Let's shorten a new one, and you see that it worked. So right when we shortened the URL, basically what happened is that we got here a totally new number. So that's kind of cool. So already 7 URLs that we have shortened, which is actually nice. Okay, so this works. Now, before we deploy it to Azure, I still want to do some more changes. So yeah, I just want to do very few changes on the front end itself. So what we have here is what I want to do is in the layout. First of all, where is the layout? Where is the layout? Shared main layout. Okay, so in the main layout, what I want to do here is okay, here I have this logo. I don't have the logo anymore. Give class logo, and then it has an href to an image. So yeah, this is we'll just comment this out for now. We don't want to display the logo right now. Then we have all the other stuff, and then we have the footer. In the footer, what we want to do is copyright. Yeah, we can leave this like that for now. Href. Okay, copy by. We'll change that. Okay, and then we have these social icons. And I guess we leave the list here, but we comment out all the social media stuff. I don't want it to appear right now. Maybe we'll come back to this later and add some real social media to it. But for now, this is what I want to change, I guess. And then in this component itself, URL shortener, I want to change the content of the button, not to shorten, but to rink it. So we just rink URLs. This is what we do. It's like with Glovo, when you make an order, you get a Glovo. Here in our service, when you want to shorten a URL, you basically rink it and you get back a new rink. That would do it. Let me just open it again. Let me just open it again. So yeah, we don't have anything here right now. Here, rink it, that it's cool. That's what I want to have. And here we just have this short by Code Wrinkles, and it goes to the Code Wrinkles website, which is this one, which is my company. Well, very small company, side project actually. So yeah, here we have 7 URLs, links click per day, whatever these stats that don't help, but I guess that's already better than what we have on RinkMe. So yeah, I guess we can just deploy it right now, I guess. And okay, no, before we deploy it, there's one more thing that we would have to change. And I guess the next time we'll go and do some configuration files and kind of try to make this process more automatic. But what we actually want to do is in this middleware, where is it? It's not this here, or not even here, but where? So it's basically where we create a short URL. So it's where did we do that? In the domain, I guess. User agent service. No. Yeah, here, user agent service. Oh, this by shortening service. Here, yeah. So what we want to return instead is HTTP .RinkMe. And of course, when we deploy this application right now, all the URLs that we shorten with localhost basically won't work when when it will be deployed. But as I said, we'll go and find a way using the configuration files to create this host basically automatically, and just change it in the configuration file, and that's it. But for now, I guess that should do it. So yeah, let's go here on this bringme.web, and where is it? Should be publish. And here, yeah, I would like to publish to Azure. Next, Azure App Service. But I want you to which Azure service? I don't recall exactly. I guess it's Windows, because I want it to connect to my subscription and get the services. Okay, the subscription is correctly, but I don't see the resource group here. Okay, that's however no problem, because the application should be in this one. Let me go to my Azure first, just to make sure that everything is correct. But the application is in the other resource group, so yeah, that's correct. Where do we have RingMe? It's this CWK resource group, and then I guess it's this one. It's CWK01, which is correct. So this is the application where we want to deploy. So yeah, let's click here on finish. Okay, so they created, it would create a release build, framework dependent, and publish. And hopefully everything will be fine. Okay, an error is occurred. Build failed. Check the output window for more. Okay, users upload the temp ATFF temp. Okay, but why didn't we have any errors? No suitable method found to override. That's not true, Visual Studio, and you should know it. Well, let me close all the stuff here. Once again. Let's try again. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly what happens here. Because I'm able to rebuild everything. So namespace everything is there. The only thing is maybe let's do it as a release. If you have any idea why this happens, then just let me know. So in the URL shortener.razor.cs, line 16. Nothing happens here. Start up on line 18. It's only this error that the type of namespace cannot be found, but there is no error. Nowhere. Let's try to publish it again. That's so strange. That's really strange. I'm not sure. Let's delete this deploy profile. Okay. Publish. Start. Let's create a new profile. Azure App Service. Here it would be this one. Diagnostics logs, okay. This diagnostics log doesn't help. These errors, these are just not. It works also in release mode. I'm really not sure why this happens. these are the errors that they see here. I really can't understand why we have these errors here. But let's, I don't know, try to configure this somehow. Let's try to edit this publishing profile. The connection should be okay, because the problem is not with the connection, it can't even connect to it. So yeah, everything is okay. Settings, release, target framework, deployment, target runtime. I don't want to apply migrations. I know it's not okay to build it into configuration, but let's see if I'm building in the configuration with the debug configuration, if it works. No, it's the same thing. Here I have 10 errors in this case. No, 7. Still the same thing. It's unsuitable method find to overload. Yeah, that's strange. So I'm really not sure, I don't really get it, why it's not able to really build it. Because if I go and rebuild the solution, let's go clean solution first. Okay, let's rebuild solution. So I built it in configuration release for all. Let's edit this back. Let's have it on release. Let's clean solution one more time. Oh, sorry, I clicked on rebuild. Analyze and code cleanup, I don't know. So everything seems to be okay, but still I get errors. Something is still not right, I guess, here. Let me try once again, and if not, what I will do, I will restart Visual Studio. I still have errors. Okay. So yeah, let's close this. Let's close also the other Visual Studio instance, and let's open it again. It's this one. So it loads a lot of stuff right now. still loading stuff, so we're still waiting. The error list, we have 0 errors. So let's go to this Ring Me Web and let's publish it. Okay, so this is the configuration. I guess this time it will work. I totally don't get it. Probably it was a problem with Visual Studio, more or less. So right now it opens the Azure website with the Azure website name. Okay, and then development mode. Why? Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. Let me check. So we have data in, requests, okay. HTTP server errors, I don't have any. Your connection is not private. Okay, no, because I don't have this. Okay, and then I have. Okay. That's strange. That's strange. Those errors should appear HTTP 500 errors. Okay, but there is one thing that we could do. Log stream. Okay, application log. Turned by app service logs. Okay, application logging. Let's turn it on. Level, I don't know, warning. What do I want? Web server logging. Error message is failed requests. Okay, let's save. Retention period days 2. Save. And then if we go to log stream, we should be able to get some logs. Okay, so let's go to log stream, and I want to get the application logs. So it's connecting right now. So let's see if we can get something here. Oh yeah, we get a lot of things here. Let's see. Okay, log stream timeout. Internal server error. Okay. diagnostic exception, unhandled exception occurred while executing the request SQL exception. Okay. Cannot open server. Oh. Yeah, then I have to go to set the in the firewall rule to accept requests from Azure services. Okay, let me go there. So it would be here on the ring me, and it would be this server. Although I guess it should be on the database. And here probably on the set firewall rule. Connection policies, allow Azure services to access the server. Yes, yeah, of course. That's what we want. Okay. So let's try again. Yay, it works. It works. So let's try to open it and go ring.me. Okay. And now let's shorten this URL. Okay, shortened, and let me see. Yeah, it redirected. So yeah, my application works and it is online. It is in Azure. So if you go on RingMe, you can start shortening your own URLs using this shortening service. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Before we wrap this up, there's one more thing that I want to do. I want to go back here in the application. So you've seen also some basic troubleshooting on what you should do when things are not going as expected in Azure. That might be useful, I guess. So what I want to do here, once again, let me just go back to this resource group, because what I want to do is go back to this application and where was it? This application service logs. I want to turn them off again, because if you leave them on, that would generate some cost, and I don't want to generate cost. So I'll turn them on when I need them, but for now everything is off again. Okay, so that should be fine. Let me open my application once again. Ring.me. Why does it take so long, such a long time? Let's try a new browser. Okay, I guess that's something that I will have to buy an SSL certificate for that. So yeah, I'll have to go to continue. Okay, so it's still working. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and buy an SSL certificate and set it up, but not today. So yeah, that's basically it in this case. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being here. If you are not subscribed already, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Twitch to be notified whenever I go online. And on the YouTube channel, you might be able to find a lot of other videos that might be nice to see, maybe for you or maybe for your friends or colleagues. Or don't be shy and let them know if you discovered some content that you might think it would be useful for them. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, for being me in this Saturday afternoon, and I hope to see you back here right in a few days. So enjoy your weekend till then, and stay safe.